folks, Fat Guy Flies RC. Well, I went and did it. I couldn't take it no more. I had to have one. Here we go. Alright folks, there you go. I have unboxed this beast. Absolute beast. Let's see. Carbon Z T28 Trojan. Now, to do this build, you're going to need all three sizes of a hex drive. A 3mm, a 2.5, and a 2.0 hex drive. That looks like the only type of tool you're going to need. But everything is laid out. Bug zapper just went off. My dog can't handle it. But this table that you're looking at comfortably seats 8 people. I call it my Viking table. And all the parts laid out take up the whole table. So give you an idea of the scale. All right, folks, we're going to start the build here in a second. I'm going to switch over to the GoPro, but I just wanted you to give you an idea of what I'm looking at. Signing off for now. Stay tuned for the next part of the video. Bye! Hello, Fat Guy Flies RC here. Yep, you're looking at it. Carbon Z T28. Going to put her together. Already read the manual. This is going to actually, for such a big plane, going to be a very simple build. First thing it calls for, take a page from, if you don't have your plane stand, take a page from Brian Phillips. Use a pillow. Okay? So the first thing we're going to do, you'll have to excuse me, but this is such a big plane, and it has so many parts, and parts is parts. First thing you're going to want to do, put your spar in for your tail, or your horizontal stabilizer. Now, this goes in so far and goes in so far here, okay, and then they're both going to lock in together in the tail. So I'm just doing a little test fit there just so you can see how it goes together. Okay, fits right on there. Okay, no problem. This actually goes through the tail feathers themselves. Actually, the horizontal stabilizer. All right. Now, I say I've read the instructions. So let me go back on my word here. Now, one thing you may notice real quick, when you go to build this, you'll find that maybe one of your leads has gone up in there, but they're both labeled. Just go ahead and get you a pair of needle nose, pull them suckers out, okay? And that way you can get to them a lot easier. All right, now the nice thing about it is they have all the different screws and everything labeled in little bags. So let's see what bag we need here to do these tail feathers. Okay, we are going to need horizontal stabilizer. We're going to put the rudder on first. Connect the rudder and elevator servo. Connectors A, the servo extension, the fuselage, slide the vertical assembly slot in the fuselage, do not crush or damage, blah, blah, blah. Secure the assembly fuselage using 2 screws BB from bag A. So we need bag A. Bag A. Bag A has 2 screws in it and possibly no, that's just a piece of on the outside. One long, one short in bag A. So, and also in the introduction video that I did to show the parts laying out, you're also going to need a small Phillips head screwdriver. Okay, for this one, we're going to need the 2.5. I believe the 2.5. Let me make sure. No, 2.0 or 2mm hex drive for this. All right, so we're going to screw that in. Hooking up. Now the nice thing about this, it's got these locking servo connectors, so you never have to worry about them coming out of sort here or undone. All right, anytime you hook a servo, light, see the light? See how the servo has a light side and a dark side, and it binds the galaxy together. But light to light, dark to dark. If y'all watched any of my other build videos, that's always when you hook up a servo, is on the light to light, dark to dark. And that, yeah, and you'll feel that click in. And it's got these nice little keepers that keep it, little lock things, keep it from ever coming undone. This is kind of fiddly here. Light to light, dark to dark. Okay, get that in there like that. All right, light to light, dark to dark. Now, let them feed on through there. Okay, and then that entire, let me go down here, open up the fuselage. I gotta keep going, sorry, I gotta keep going around this table here. Let me go in here and pull, I'm gonna pull the elevator with the fuselage canopy over here. Okay, we're going to pull those, you see, pull on those two wires to pull up the slack. Okay, so that I can marry those right on in there. Make sure they're out of the way. Remember, they're locked in there nice and tight. Yeah, oh boy. That scared me. Okay, let me get a stronger finger. All right, little tip. Stick your finger in there, push it forward. Okay, now, oh man, that sucker is in there. All right, so now we're gonna turn it over. Okay. Let me double up my pillow here. Okay. Well, no. Having some difficulties, folks. All right. All right, let's get the, I'll move the camera for just a little bit. Let me make sure we're still able to be seen here. All right. All right, now, as it would make sense, longer screw should go here, and a shorter screw will go back here. And make sure you can see what I'm doing here. Okay. All right. Make sure that's all lined up nice and pretty. You know what I didn't do? Didn't make sure that I could see that the holes were lined up. What you can do to pull these back out is put your hex drive in there, okay? Kind of pull to one side. And that should, key word there, should, make it so you can pull the screw right back out. Worked on the other one. Worked on the other one, man. All right, so we seem to be lined up perfect on this one side. I can't see anything. Okay, maybe we got it now. All right, so let's put the long one back in there again. Shorter one back in here again. And let's try this again. Try not to put too much pressure on the foam here. That's the reason for the pillow. Rather put pressure on the pillow than on the foam. That just doesn't seem like it's... The other one went right in. Aha. Okay, well, having difficulties. All right, let me cut the camera for just a minute and work this out, and I'll tell you what I did. I'm back. Okay, figured out what you got to do to get this horizontal stabilizer in. What you need to do, make sure, like I showed you, pull them wires down to make sure they're not kinked up. And you have got, use this plastic as leverage. Put your finger through here. Key this, the front part of this in, and make sure you get them set it on the ground, because you don't have the prop or anything on the counting on yet. You're on a flat part. Press that sucker down in there. Make sure it's seated good, and grab it while you put the screws in. You know, have one hold and line them up, and put your screws in that way. Now, with any other plane, you know, or anytime you're putting a plane together and you're putting screws into foam that has hard points, you'll feel it grab. And then when you know it's nice and tight and snug, if you start seeing your foam start to indent, you know you're tight enough. When you get to that point, back off half a turn, because as heat and time goes by, that foam will expand a little bit, and that's going to seal that even better. So once you get that nice little bit of crinkle there, back off half a turn. So now we're going to turn our attention to the vertical stabilizer, or the horizontal stabilizer. That's what we were working on, was the vertical stabilizer. But you know, I get my directions backwards and forwards, and which is not good if I'm in the air, right? Okay, so let's turn our attention to the tail. Now, obviously, if you already got your tail hooked up, it came that way from this whole piece came that way. It's not that way over here, so that means that that's the side, that's the one we're not using. So there's your connector, so we would know, or that's your control horn for the horizontal stabilizer. Put your spar in there, it'll stop at a certain point. Find your hole that your spar goes through. Just has the one spar. And go ahead and pull through. You know, there's no sense. One thing about foam, that when it's going to be tight like this, it's going to go into a tight, take your fingers and just kind of smash. You're not going to see this anyways. Take your fingers, kind of smash that just a little bit. Let me look at see how, let me hang this in here. I'm sorry, my head's in the way. But let me see how this is looking on the camera here. Make sure you can see what I'm doing. Okay, good. All right, but like I say, you want to smash that, just little parts there, just the side of that foam a little bit so that it'll slide easier in there. And I say that, and boy, look at that. Yeah. Boy, this plane is going to fit tight. All right, now when you see dark in your hole there, you'll know you're lined up. Because before that, you would have seen the white foam. These come from bag B. They are labeled. And you're going to use a 2mm hex drive or an Allen wrench, whatever you've got. Put that down in there. Now, I've already test fitted these screws. Another guy, I want to say it's John something RC. He's friends with GB Linden. He did a build video of this a while back, and he had a problem with this, and once it got in there, boy, oh boy, it was a problem. He's like, okay, it went in there, and boy, I don't think I'd ever be able to get it back out. And he actually messed up part of his horizontal stabilizer. Believe it or not, that's going. It's just taking a little while. I'm getting my workout. Oh, of course, the fat guy needs it, right? All right. Now, that fits in. When it's nice and flush, the screw is no longer level with that surface there. She's in there. And that ain't going nowhere. Now, you notice this is flapping free. Well, it's going to key right in there. So you're going to pay attention to what you're doing. Remember, kind of smash this little Pilot Ryan taught me that little trick. This is why us YouTubers, we watch each other. Builders, we watch each other. And we take little pieces here and there, little bits of information from each other. And all that enriches the hobby, which is the whole point. I mean, with everything going on with this hobby and remote ID and other things that are threatening it, hey, we need to be as helpful to each other as we can be. Okay. All right, I'm going to have to... Oh, that sucker's not wanting to... Sorry if my... Hey, looky there. Looky there, folks. Got connection. This is... I only had one... I don't know if you can see it on camera. There's a big dent right here. That is the only thing I have found wrong. Oh, just to let you know, metal hinges. Metal hinges that are covered in plastic, and they are hot or permanently glued in. Okay. Okay. May have to kind of work that back and forth. Get that sucker in there. And there we go. I'm moving on my pillow, folks. All right. So we're going to... Here we go, this long process here. This is just one fabulous look. Fabulous, man, gorgeous. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Brian Phillips, he'll say gorgeous. I tell you, I love watching his videos. I really do. The interaction between him and his wife, because she's the camera crew. And they do everything on their phone, by the way. Everything they film is on her phone. How cool is that? And anyways, their interaction between each other, the innuendos, the stuff they say, it's quite funny. You can tell they're a very happy couple. All right, we get that down there. Oh, that sucker's in there. I tell you what, this tail ain't coming off. She ain't coming off at all. All right, now, we now have the basic control of the airplane. we have the rear. Now, where you hook this up. Let's see what the manual says. Now, the manual, this little handy-dandy bit of information that you do not need to throw away. Guys, swallow your pride. Read the stupid thing. Okay? We're going to, for the control horn, okay, control horn, think control surface, so control horn. Servo arm. It's your arm. You have movement. Control horn on the control. It says to hook it into the next from the last. So in other words, you got your last hole, then you got one click in. And this is your typical Z-bend. Should fit right in there, and it does. Okay, and then on the control arm, looks like I did that backwards. I did it backwards. The clevis, which this is the clevis, this is the part with that piece of fishing or a fuel tube on there. Did that backwards. Okay. Second, no, the dead middle control arm right there in the middle. Okay. Okay. And then I'm going to hook it to the second to the last. Feel that click in. All right, now I'm going to bring this closer to the camera. Hopefully you can see. The very middle of the control servo arm, the very middle hole, and then the second hole, actually it's, the second hole in on the control horn, the second hole down from this position is where you're going to hook. Click that in, you'll feel it click, slide your fuel line. Now, one thing, you don't want to put your fuel line all the way directly on that because you have a rotating, you got a moving hinge there. Just back it off just a touch. That way that hinge has room to move and you're not hindering that. Because you don't want to hinder that. Because any little tension, any little friction like that makes your servo have to work longer, a little bit, just a slight bit harder. And the harder it works over time, wears that servo down. Next thing you know, you got a burned up servo. And if you have luck like mine, it's going to go bad on you while I'm about 150 feet up. Okay? Now, according to the instructions, we turn our attention to the wing. All right? We're going to grab both sides of the wing. This is like reading instruction that says you're going to cook lobster. First, kill lobster. Okay. All right. Slide both wing tubes. Tube AA is installed in the front hole, and then the short tube is installed in the rear. Okay, so let's get our canopy out of the way. Oh, by the way, if you don't have a pilot in there and it's flat, that's usually called a battery hatch. If you've got something clear or something where the pilot would be, that's the canopy. Just a little trivia. I'm going to walk in front of the camera. Let me grab all the stuff here. Grab everything I need. Might even think about grabbing the wings here. I don't know, just for poops and giggles, right? I'm sorry, I'm onto the camera again. I'm not a professional cameraman, okay? Videographer. I do this by the seat of my pants. And boy, that's some big old pants in it. Okay, now the AA is installed in the front tube. Okay, and the short tube BB, they're very obvious. Okay, the longer tube is going to go up front. And if it stops, has a stopping point, and the shorter tube is going to go back here in the rear. Okay? Now, bottom of the wings right here, all nice and pretty. I'm going to take the other one, walk in front of the camera again. I know. I'm bad. Okay. I'm bad, man. Gonna take the other wing, okay? Flop your, now if I was smart, I'd had some painter's tape up here. Tape them out of the way. You're gonna join your two halves of your wing together. Yeah, right? You know, we haven't figured that one out on our own there, Mr. Glasgow. Mr. Fat Guy Flies RC. We didn't know you're going to slide them together. We thought they'd come together all on their own. Get them together and pinch them just like that. Now, this is a very small plane, very small wing. Okay. All right, now, these are your joiners. They only fit one way, or they're very obvious, okay? Very obvious. That goes there. This wing is meant to, that you have to do this every time. You're going to take it apart, transport this way. Now, this is a complaint, okay? There is a gap, okay? Get over it. There's a gap. What are you going to do? There's a gap, okay? Okay, I screwed up already because this is the bottom of the wing, right? Look what I've done. So, this is field practice, right? Let's get our tool that has disappeared on me. Okay, there it is. And let's fish these. Hey, that gap's coming in handy now. Okay. Fish these out. See, as I make mistakes, you can watch this video and you can say, hey, fat guy, don't do that. Okay. Now, take your slide apart. Now we can drape that through there. Okay, and there's a nice channel for that to go in. Okay, don't want to get pinched. Go ahead and turn it over, pull it through, make sure it's nice and purty. All right, now put that back in. You see what I did though? Had the wings, the wires hanging out. Well, that ain't gonna do no good, is it? All right, now for this one, to attach this wing, you're gonna need bag D. Okay, bag D. Bag D. And it's gonna be great big heavy duty metric screws. For that, you're going to need your 3.0 or 3mm hex drive. Okay? So let's get down to it. We're going to take this wing, we're going to move her over here for just a second. I know, I'm in front of the camera again. It's like, gee, fat guy, we don't want to see your backside any more than we have to. There's the canopy here. This is a big plane. Oh my gosh, this sucker's huge. I think this is bigger than my Carbon Z. Carbon Z Cessna. Well, it's actually not by wingspan, but it's bigger by mass. And, but beautiful. All right, grab this conglomeration here. Make sure they're feeding in. And look at that. Is that not gorgeous? Is that not gorgeous? That just fits right down there. These are all, now, when you have plastic geared, it's never good to manually move your servos like this anyways. It's not a good practice. But it's less harmful on metal geared ones than it is on the plastic nylon. Because nylon usually means smaller and you're a lot stronger and you're not going to be as delicate, you know, as the plastic would need. And so naturally it's not good. So just not a good practice. If you can get it and not do it, then don't do it. All right, now this is going to be just like when you're putting lug nuts on a car or on a wheel. You want to start at one, okay? And like I said, I've got this pillow underneath here. Thank you, Brian Phillips, for that little tip. Got this pillow under here. Let it take the pressure instead of your phone sitting down. Well, anyways, you're going to let that, okay, now get down in there. Now you'll see it sinking down in there. Now when it starts getting really tight like that, you know you've got the purchase. You know it's there. Okay. This one doesn't really feel like it's there. Okay, yeah, there. It's very obvious. Now I'm going to rotate on this side. Yeah, it's very obvious when it starts getting purchased, when it starts getting some bite to it. Because it's like all of a sudden you got real resistance. Yeah, see, right there. And like I said, when that foam starts to dent in just a touch, you know you're there. All right, let's slide this. Okay. Get down. Remember, I've got this pillow underneath here, taking the impact, taking the pressure. Oh yeah. Yeah, baby. Alright, now. Nice and tight. Half a turn off. Let me get it in there. Let me get it in there, man. Come on, you can do it. Half a turn off. Half a turn off. Half a turn off. And see on my butt is a full turn off. Okay, now let's turn this big old boy over. Oh my gosh. Oh, she's such a small microplane. She's so tiny. All right, well that's the basic part. We've got wings. Our wings are on. The horizontal stabilizer's on. The vertical stabilizer's on. EC5. Next is going to be the motor and the cowling. So let's stop the video there and we'll come back in just a second. I'm back. There's my back again. All right, folks, here's the part of the build. We're going to hook up the motor. All right, we're going to install the motor. But now that's going to be bag C, your screws, and you're going to need a 2.5 hex head metric driver, or an Allen wrench that's 2.5 millimeters. Okay, all right. Now, looking at the way the motor sits and where your wires are, okay, I'm going to put it like that. Hook up the wires, and then I'm going to tuck my, since my ESC is movable, I can pull the ESC forward a little bit and get some of these wires up out of the way. Now, so I'm going to put the wires up. Pretty sure, let me make sure that that's what it's, gravity's working, folks. Let me make sure it doesn't give you like an orientation. No, it doesn't say anything about wind motor. Doesn't show anything. Correctly align the motor wires, ESC install. Okay, 4 screws. Okay, yeah, okay. So it doesn't say what side of the motor. Should be kind of obvious. Put one through. All right. Get that sucker lined up. Go in there. Let it connect. Get it down. Kind of tight there. Not tight, but enough for grab the motor. That way you ain't got to hold the motor. All right. Get another one going through there. Okay. And I just poked a hole in the plane there. Okay. Get another one going through there. Okay. See, this way, I'll let the screws take the weight and leave my hands free. See, that one's not wanting to line up perfectly, so let's get the other ones. Uh-oh. That gravity's still working. All right, so let's get that one snug down. And this will line it all up. You get two on there, the whole thing will be lined up nice. Okay. What I like about this build, no glue. Don't have to glue a thing together. It all bolts in there. Oh, nice and tight. This is one of those things you want to be nice and tight. Now, if I was smart, I would have put a little Loctite on there, but there's a lot of foam around here. So Loctite eats up foam. So periodically, as time goes by, you're going to want to take your cowl off, you know, and check. Make sure your motor is nice and tight and that everything's on the motor mount. And I don't know, you may even be able to reach through the cowling. And that screw is just riding on the housing of the motor. That's all you're hearing. Okay, that's in there nice and tight. All right. Okay. Okay. All right, that sucker's on there. Now, this should color code yellow to yellow, you know, red to red, black to black. Okay. Pull that through just a touch. Okay. We'll let them there, and then we can hide them wires up in there. Now you don't want to go crazy, okay? Make sure they're kind of together because airflow needs to go through there to hit that ESC to cool it down. All right. Remember that was bag C for those screws. Now the part of the build to where I'm going to bind this to my receiver. So let me grab the receiver. I got a battery. And I know my back's to the camera again. It's already got the nice Velcro straps in there. Not that I'm wanting to secure the battery forever. I just want it to sit in there. But I don't really move around too much. Okay. I am not going to plug the battery in yet, folks. No, don't get all bent out of shape. Just securing it for right now. Get my bind plug, which is supplied. You know, that's such a high cost item there. But it's amazing something that's like 33 cents, but nothing works without it, right? Okay, you're gonna go to your transmitter. And let me move the camera just a little bit. Sorry. Okay. All right, what we're going to do is I'm going to show you what I'm doing here. Okay. We're going to model select. We're going to go down, add a new model. Do I want to create? Well, yes, I do actually. Okay. Now, this is a DX9 Spectrum. The model type is obviously an airplane. Yes. Reset, yes. Model name. We're going to go ahead and keep it in caps because I have bad eyesight. And we're going to name this bad boy the Carbon Now you could go back and name this later and just use aggro as the default, but why not go ahead and do it now? Okay, so hold on. Okay, got to remember how to spell. See, it's not moving the way I want it to move. There we go. C-A, no. Boy, I'm just showing you how stupid I am. C-A-R, to be carbon, O. Now a teenager could do this really quick. Carbon. Okay, we're gonna make it. Hold on. Gotta go back and find a space there. Carbon Z. Carbon Z. We're going to call it T28. Just getting my numbers here. Sorry, it's a little monotonous here. T28. Otherwise known as a Trojan. All right, carbon Z T28. All right, the aircraft type, the wing is one aileron and one flap. Okay, everything else is normal. Okay, now as I normally like to do, even though I don't have the prop on, I like to go ahead and assign my throttle cut, which is going to be F for me. Okay, so that's ready to go. Turn that off. Okay, now I'm going to bind for safe select. So what you do, go ahead and put your bind plug in where the bind goes. Okay, now just so you know, I've already fished all my wires through and I've hooked them up to their respective spots here. Everything is labeled. Okay, so I didn't feel like I needed to show that because everything, like I said, is labeled. So, and remember, when you connect your servos, and they have those nice little locking mechanisms there, light to light, dark to dark. So if you've got the orange on top and the brown down below, light to light, dark to dark. It's always that way, no matter what model you're putting together. Light to light, dark to dark. Okay, bind plug is in. Let's go ahead and remove our peller. Man. Okay. All right, we have power. Now to bind with safe select, the receiver is blinking. I'm now going to pull the bind plug out. Receiver's still blinking. Going to walk 3 or good ways away.
Binding. DSMX 22 milliseconds. Telemetry. Bind complete.
All right, bind complete. Okay. Now, let's okay. Try to see if I can get my gear. All right. Oh, that's beautiful. Is that not beautiful? All right. Now we're bound up. Okay. I don't have flaps or anything yet. All right. Let's make sure our directions are correct. Right, left, right. Okay. Up, down. Okay. Now, okay. Let me see how that motor's turning. Okay, that motor is turning this way. Okay, that's wrong. I'm telling you, folks, that is wrong. But let's just verify that just to make me happy. Okay, this big old honking blade, the open blade is going to, hush pepper, is going to go this way. So, if that's the case, throttle off. pull them wires out, and all you have to do is change 2 of them. Okay? I'm going to undo the yellow and undo the red. I'm going to put the yellow, the red and the yellow together, and I'm going to put the other red and yellow together, leaving the black alone. Now, any combination would have worked as long as you only change the 2. Okay? Put that in there. All right. Roll on. Going this way. That way the prop would turn this way. Got my. All right, good. So let's go ahead, power this up. All the way. Props off. So that should mean that, yeah, safe select, safe is on. Because how I can tell is, you see that elevator, it's going up and it's staying up as I put it up there. The aileron is staying there. In other words, it's trying to level the plane. So we want safe select. So I want to put that on a switch. Now, I already know that A is my gear. So, and I'm going to use D for my flaps. So, the switch that I want, I'm going to use H. So, well, I may have to play with this. Let's gotta make sure everything is in the, everything's down. Okay, there's one thing. That has to go all the way down. Okay. Okay. This is something I usually have a problem with. Brian Phillips has a real quick fix for this. And let's see, back. All right, everything's flight is a negative. Okay, aux. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Let's see. All right, everything is negative. The gears are negative, or a neutral position, so I should be able all right, I'm going to have to refer to the manual about picking safe select. But the important thing is right now, it's bound up, and I've got communication, and I know that the prop is going correctly. So now we'll get to the part with the bill where I'm going to put the propeller on and the cowling on, and I'll come back and we'll finish setting her up the rest of the way. So let me turn it off for just now. All right, folks, I'm back. And it was a very simple problem. What I had to do, in order to pick a channel that you're going to put safe select on, it has to be a channel that's channel 5 through 9, okay? I left gear as A here, and I used H for my safe select. Now, but it has to be a channel. In order to get it to work, you have to have a channel that you can see when you put the monitor on. Okay, I'll move the camera just a little bit here. Okay, I want you to be able to see this. You have to be able to see it on here. If it's a channel, you see that right there moved? If it's a channel that you can see on here, going to be something from aux 2, 3, or 4, something that moves, that you can, if you can see it on here and you can move it, then that means you're able to assign it as safe select. In this case, I used H. I made sure that it was at negative 100, and then all I did was held my sticks down. In fact, we'll just do it again here. Go back to normal. Okay, hold the sticks down. You see, look at that. See that? You see everything moved? All right, now safe is off, and all right, now safe is on. Oh wait, hold on. I can tell you in just a second. If safe is on, then that elevator should stay up. Alright, it stays up, the aileron stays up at that position. Change it. Oh, it's still there. Okay, so let's try this again. Back, monitor, make sure that, okay, pull the sticks all the way down. All right, now, this is one of the reasons why you leave your prop off. Okay, so back to normal. Back on normal here. Okay, now let's see. Yeah, elevator staying right where it should. Okay, now that should be safe on now. Yeah, safe's on. The control surface are staying put. All right, now looking at the model, I have noticed something right off the bat, that this elevator, or this aileron, is even over here, but the flap is down just a tick. Okay? I've noticed over here, this elevator is perfectly even, this aileron is perfectly even. So that means what I got to do is go on underneath here and mechanically pull the elevator up just a touch to make it even. Which all you do is undoing your clevis and screwing it in a little bit to pull and then rehooking it to where it's nice and even. Don't have to show you that. That's pretty self-explanatory. I had to do the same thing to the elevator. I noticed that it was a little down. So, and then that's just unhooking your clevis, screwing it in or out depending on which way you want it to go to where it's nice and level, to where the control surface is nice and level, and then reattaching it. That's all it is. Okay, folks, other than putting the prop and the cowl on, which, you know, that's pretty simple. The cowling just goes on here, you know. It goes one way. It's color-coded, you know. It's got 3 little screws that hold it on. And then put the prop on. Other than that, she's pretty much ready to go. One nice thing, there's a hole there. And that way this will vent, because all this nice foam that's inside here, as soon as you get this out in the sun for a little while, it's all going to gator. And that's why it's nice to, there. And that's pretty much, other than the prop, that's the finished product, okay? All right, folks, she's bound up. She's ready to go. Just need to put the prop and the spinner on, but I'm not going to do it inside the house. I'll do it in the shop or, you know, somewhere safe. And that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching. This is Fat Guy Flies RC. God bless y'all. And that was the build of my new Carbon Z T28. I'm happy.